Welcome to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by SMUD.
And we come to you with a lot of football talk, some volleyball, soccer, all kinds of things, but football is big in the air with the league races shaping up fast.
Welcome back for another edition of MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by SMUD. I'm Mike Finnerty, joined as always by Joe Davidson of the Sacramento Bee. Another big show for you, talking lots of high school football, of course. But as always, we've got plenty of volleyball, and we get a little bit of girls tennis and girls soccer, Joe. But before we kind of get into what we're going to do this show, again, it starts with football.
Yeah, football is so big in Northern California. A lot of emphasis on our show with the Sac Joaquin section. It's the second largest section in California. There are 10 sections in this state. The biggest ones, as you could imagine, are in Southern California. But the Sac Joaquin section is just booming with football. And you bounced around one of the smaller leagues. That's one of the premier small leagues in Northern California, the Pioneer Valley League. There's schools in the city. There's schools in the foothill. The football is big time. It's been that way for a lot of years. And some of these teams may emerge not only as league champions, but maybe as small school section champions with the NorCals around the corner from that too.
Yep, we do have some Pioneer Valley League high school football highlights. Placer playing well this year. They took on Foothill. We got some highlights there. But later in the show, as we mentioned, we're going to catch up with the Granite Bay girls golf team. Only one loss in the season. That's the defending champion Oak Ridge, but they got them also as well. We've got some girls tennis with Rockland taking on Oak Ridge, and a lot of Oak Ridge talk in this show the last few weeks. The school seems to be doing everything right in the fall.
Oak Ridge up there in El Dorado Hills has just done great things since opening in 1981-82, and it's just a great culture success there. We'll bounce around as well. And then at the end of the show, we'll preview some football games to look for this coming week. We've got a Thursday special with one of the NorCal powerhouses, actually a West Coast powerhouse.
Yeah, Sierra Foothill League action. We'll have our Placer Title Company insiders, our Makuni Sushi Trivia. Full show for you, so sit back, relax. We're going to start off with high school football. Placer taking on Foothill. We lead off our highlights with football action in the Pioneer Valley League with the Placer Hillmen. We're on the road to take on the Foothill Mustangs. Placer 6-0, looking to stay unbeaten for its big game next week against Bear River. To the action we go. Late first quarter, it's Michael Ferreira patiently waiting around as he goes left side, finds a hole. He's going to take it in for the score, putting Placer on the board at 7-0. On the Hillmen's next possession, they go to the air. Marcus Ante airs it out for Derek Haney deep down the left side, and Haney is gone. 46 yards for another Placer touchdown, upping the lead to 14-0 with 2:06 left in the first. Foothill would answer with a long run by Demaria Woodard. No one's going to catch him. The extra point is no good, but the Mustangs cut the lead to 14-6. Second quarter now, Placer caps off a nice drive with his Jared Halbert 1-yard score to make it 21-6. The Hillmen go on and cruise to a big win, 52-26, improving to 7-0 overall, 2-0 in the Pioneer Valley League, and will take on undefeated Bear River this Friday. Let's stay in the PVL with another important league matchup where the 4-2 Lincoln Fighting Zebras are playing host to the 4-2 Center Cougars, but it was Lincoln at 1-0 in league play, while Center came in at 0-1. With the score tied 21-all at the half, we'll pick it up late in the third quarter when Center quarterback Cameron Perini goes deep down the left side for a Cougars touchdown, giving Center the lead at 28-21 with 16 seconds left in the quarter. In the fourth, score tied at 28 with 8:19 left when Center's Tobias Marshall picks off this Lincoln quarterback pass, Elia Garcia, and that's going to go for a pick six, giving the lead back to the Cougars at 35-28. Lincoln countered, though. It's Garcia on the slant to Caleb Kettlehut, and Kettlehut finds some room to run, and he gets in there for the score, and just like that, we're all tied again, this time at 35 with 4:43 left to play. In the final minute, both teams had a chance to win it, but the defensive stepped up. First, it was Lincoln's Gavin Menifee who picks off this pass with a minute to go. And then with 17 seconds left in the game, Center's Marcellus Roberts, he intercepts this Garcia pass in the red zone, and we are headed to overtime. Lincoln with the first opportunity to score capitalized here with Elijah Cunningham. He's going to go right side for this play for a 10-yard score. Lincoln on top at 42-35. Center got its opportunity from the 10-yard line as well, but on fourth down, Lincoln's defense came up big. Zach Udsey gets the pick. That is going to seal it as Lincoln comes up big in overtime. 42-35, improving to 5-2 overall, 2-0 in league play. And after the game, there was a feeling within the team that this win would signal a change in the program.
There's a buzz building, you know what I mean? There's just something, you can't really put your pulse on it, but people that maybe were kind of wondering how it was after a 1-9 season, understandably so, we're wondering, hey, can this guy pull this off or what? But surrounding myself with good people, quality character, oh man, that's character right there at the end.
I mean, you see the hard work we put in the offseason is paying off, and I just think that if we just keep moving forward and get better every week, I think in the future we're looking pretty good.
All right, Mike, good stuff there. As you can see, Foothill plays on a great new polished field, sparkles and got the nice colored end zones that matches the school colors. Celebrating 50 years of Foothill High School in Northern Sacramento. Powerhouse program in previous decades, trying to get things going this year. Football coach Tim Trokey understands football success, having been a star player years ago at Nevada Union up in the foothills. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of work. So good football going on in the small leagues. We certainly talk about the larger schools a lot, and we're going to preview some of the big matchups coming up this week later in the show, so stick around for that.
Yeah, one of those matchups will be Placer and Bear River, but we'll talk about that later. All right, Joe, when we come back from the break, we're going to have girls volleyball, a team playing very well in our area is the Pleasant Grove Eagles. We have highlights them taking on Monterey Trail. We have girls tennis, girls golf, Placer Title Company Insiders, some big picture look there. A lot to stick around for. Don't go away.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Welcome back to the very best high school sports in Northern California. We are MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by our good friends from SMUD.
Yeah, Sacramento Municipal Utilities District, Joe.
A great area to cover high school sports. Been doing it for 25 plus years at Sacramento Bee. Got stuff every day on sacbee.com. Take a look there, and I hand it to you for your great ability to get around everywhere. If it's football, you're all over. We got more football coming up, soccer, tennis, volleyball, golf. Let's jump into volleyball a little bit. It's another huge sport for the Sac Joaquin section this time of year. Some good stuff going on in the Elk Grove Unified School District.
Yeah, the Pleasant Grove Eagles had a great season, as you remember, last year. Made it all the way to the section championship, but they're playing well once again. Different players, lost same players back, but they took on a Monterey Trail team that's feisty, but the Eagles are strong. Next up, we've got some volleyball with the Pleasant Grove Eagles taking on the Monterey Trail Mustangs. Pleasant Grove looking to stay unbeaten in the Delta League, and all going right for the Eagles on this night. Opening set, it's Pleasant Grove's Madeline Fitchner with the block to give the Eagles a 2-point lead. However, the Mustangs, they hung around and they would stay close early on. Midway through the set, Pleasant Grove began to pull away. Sienna Young on the ace right here, and then later it's Hannah Tischlarge setting up Liliana Light. She uses the left hand to make it 23-14 Pleasant Grove. Eagles would add another ace from Young to make it a Game 1 win of 25-14. On the second set now is a good start for the Eagles with Liliana Light serving. Pleasant Grove would go on a roll sparked by several big hits from Young that would start the Eagles on a 12-0 run. Some nice work here at the net by Tischlarge. She's going to make it 13-0 Pleasant Grove, as the Eagles would eventually take Game 2 25-8, then take Game 3 25-5 for the sweep to maintain their hold on first place in league play. We've got some small school volleyball from the Sacramento Metropolitan League, where the 13-1 Valley Christian Academy Lions were on the home floor to take on the 6-7 Buckingham Charter Knights of Vacaville. First set, it's Chloe Gunner with the big hit to put Valley Christian up by 2 at 15-13. Then Luba Vektomov sends us one to the back line. It stays inside, and it's now 21-18 VCA. The Lions would take that opening set 25-18. Second set now was just more of the same. Big hit right here. No one's going to stop that. VCA by 7. Later, Chloe Gunner again to make it a 9-point game. The hits just continue with Vanessa Page finding Megan Woodside, who finds the middle, but Buckingham Charter can't return it, 18-8 Valley Christian. The Lions would take Game 2 25-15 and then take Game 3 as well, 25-18, improving to 14-1 overall, 6-1 in league, just a half game back of Sacramento Country Day.
All right, good stuff in volleyball, small school, large. It's all very good here in the Sac Joaquin section. So is the girls' tennis, especially in the Sierra Foothill League with rivals that seem to always run into each other.
Yeah, we're talking about the same teams a lot every week, but in tennis it's the same. Oak Ridge taking on Rockland last week. Oak Ridge, the defending Division I champion, they beat Rockland in the championship last year. I think if you talk to those in tennis circles, they're expected to get back again, but we got your highlights from last week's matchup. The top two teams in the Sierra Foothill League and perhaps the section met up last week with the Oak Ridge Trojans squaring off against the Rockland Thunder at Rockland High School. Trojans in blue, Thunder in gray, and for the Trojans, they took victories in the top three singles matches, highlighted by Madeline Almeida's 6-0, 6-3 win over Navina Atoda in a battle of number ones. For the twos, it was Lily Wainwright defeating Talia Panadero 6-2, 0-6, 6-1. And for the threes, it was Cassie Lyons prevailing over Emily Hopping 6-1 and 6-3. Oak Ridge took 4 of the 6 singles matches and 2 of the 3 doubles matches to avenge its loss to Rockland from back on September 22nd. Regular season play will conclude this week with playoffs just around the corner.
All right, good stuff there. Tennis has always been big around here for decades. So is golf, and that leads us right to our McCooney trivia question. Come on, throw it at me.
All right, we got one for you. You can't give me the answer yet, because you probably know it.
I probably don't know.
All right, Joe. Granite Bay, which we'll talk about, their girls golf team later in the show, they have an alumni. She played on the LPGA Tour. She's done some reality TV shows. Can you name her? I'm not going to make you guess what year she graduated, but do you know who the former Granite Bay golfer is that we'll talk about later in the show?
I know it's not a Kardashian.
Yeah,
we're safe there. Okay.
You are right.
When you said reality TV, I think Kardashian.
Oh, come on. All right, Joe, we'll bring that answer later on the show. When we come back, we have your Placer Title Company insiders, and again, we'll talk some Granite Bay golf.
Thinking about whether a solar power system is a good fit for your home or not?
Here, try this instead.
SMUD can help. If you've got questions, SMUD's got answers. Check with SMUD before signing a contract. Visit smud.org/solaranswers.
Welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California. We are MaxPreps Sacramento, brought to you by our good friends from...
Powered by SMUD, Sacramento Municipal Utilities District. All right, Joe, it is now time for our Placer Title Company insiders. Placer Title Company, your title and escrow company in Northern California since the 1970s. All right, back for another edition of our Placer Title Company Insiders. Joe, we're going to talk football in this segment. And one gentleman you and I have had a chance to talk to this year, outstanding athlete, Lamar Jackson out of Franklin. He took a little college tour recently.
Yeah, he did. He's the most heavily recruited defensive player in the Sacramento region. Out of the Elk Grove Unified School District, Franklin, in its 15th year, highest recruited athlete in school history. You got to talk to him. He's a nice young man, very gregarious. He's 6'2", 215 pounds, national recruit defensive back. Over the weekend, he went to Ann Arbor to go visit with Jim Harbaugh and to see the Michigan State game. The previous week, he went down to Salt Lake City to visit the Utah Utes, ranked 4th in the country. He was hosted by Devontae Booker, the Heisman Trophy candidate running back, who is out of Grant High School in Sacramento. And oh, by the way, Booker was on the loose. He went for 222 yards and a win over Cal. So he's having a great time with this, is Lamar Jackson. He was so excited to get the call from Jim Harbaugh. He put him on speakerphone and had all his friends huddle around. And Harbaugh said, "Hey, big man, just wanted to offer you a scholarship. Would love to see you." And he said he was so excited. He understands how valuable these scholarships are. We've talked about it on this show. 1% of high school kids across the country get a scholarship. He's going to be in that 1%. But what really makes Lamar Jackson so exemplary is he became a very good student in high school. Struggled his first year, If you don't get on board academically, you're not going to go anywhere. He got the message. He's done it. He's a great role model. Good for him. He's a man. He's going to wind up somewhere. He's having a good time with Franklin football now. It's a team trying to get into the playoffs as well. So good for him. And a lot of mileage being incurred right now as he travels across the country.
Yeah. And one thing about Lamar is he mentioned at his Under Armour event that he had for the All-Star game. He said he's going to make the decision one time. So he's not going to do a lot of the give a verbal. He's going to make one decision. That's going to be the decision he makes. And so he's given it a lot of thought.
And one side note on Lamar Jackson, one of the schools he was looking into giving an official visit was USC, but with the whole scandal with Steve Sarkisian, who was fired for cause, all kinds of personal problems, and so maybe that eliminates him there, though Lamar Jackson did say last week that the school and the coaches have reached out and said, we still want you. When you have a real stain like that, that really is a ripple effect in recruiting. Then there are a lot of guys who don't get recruited at all. So anybody's getting recruited, appreciate it.
You
and
bet.
Don't flaunt it and don't taunt it.
You bet. All right, let's move to the other side of the ball. Offense and quarterbacks, and Caden Vogus of Sac High. He put up some remarkable numbers.
10,000 career yards for Caden in 33 games, 124 career touchdowns. Very impressive player, really an impressive young man. He's a 4.0 student. Says he really takes school personally. It's important to him. And I thought, well, you better since you're dating the student body president. So you know what he did with the football after he reached the milestone? They stopped the game, and he, well, what do I do with the ball? I'll give it to my mom. So he trucked across the field and ran up to the stands and gave it to his mother, and she was weeping happily. But some nice stories out there. He's trying to get recruited.
Yeah.
He's 5'11", 170 pounds. There's not a lot of need for that in college, but this kid can play. College Division II, Division III, have some great football across the country, including the state, and the junior colleges are really well too. Theme there, just keep playing, just keep competing, just keep being a leader.
And good story by you. That was in the Sacramento Bee last week. All right, Joe, we're a little offense, a little defense in this week's Placer Title Company Insiders. But in the coming weeks, we'll talk about other quarterbacks and other news and notes as the season moves along. All right, Joe, one more segment to go. When we come back, we're going to introduce you to the Granite Bay girls golf team, and we're going to preview 3 big football games coming up this Friday.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Thinking about whether a solar power system is a good fit for your home or not?
Here, try this instead.
SMUD can help. If you've got questions, SMUD's got answers. Check with SMUD before signing a contract. Visit smud.org/solaranswers.
And we're back with the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by our good friends
At SMUD, Sacramento Municipal Utilities District.
You haven't blundered that once, and I'm very impressed. So very well. And,
it gets you a little tongue-tied, I must say.
That's right. It's good to have SMUD on board as they see the value of high school sports much like we do. And
by the way, speaking of SMUD, let me cut you there. Starting in November, and then for the next 7 months, we're going to do a community feature. Teams or athletes in the community doing good works. That too will be sponsored by SMUD, so be on the lookout for that. Probably around Thanksgiving, and then another one around Christmas, and then again one every month the rest of the year.
Very impressive how giving a lot of these student athletes are, and kudos to the coaches for enforcing it. Get involved in your community, because football or basketball or whatever sport is a real vehicle to the real life out there. So good to see. All right. We also appreciate the efforts of our good friends from McCooney's, and you have that tasty little nugget of a trivia question. Give me the answer. And we know it's not the Kardashians, thank goodness.
Well, let's recap. As mentioned, when we come up here shortly, we're going to introduce you to the Granite Bay girls golf team. So in the spirit of that, we have to tell you, there's one famous golfer from their team from years back, and she made it to the LPGA. She actually started her career back in 2001. She only had 1 career win on the LPGA, but 4 career wins. Many may know her from Celebrity Apprentice. Do you know who the golfer is?
Sounds like Natalie Gulbis.
You are
great
right
athlete. Probably could still run circles around us. So she's done very well. And when we talk about Granite Bay, that school's not that old.
No.
About 15 or 16 years old, in the heart of Placer County, has really established quickly a great football culture. Won the state championship 2012. You were on that bus to go down there behind the scenes for one of your great shows. Girls volleyball went, I think, 38-0. Won the state CIF Division I championship. First Sacramento team, Sac Joaquin section large school team to do that. And now the golf team is doing great things. So swimming, diving, all those things, everything's working for Granite Bay.
Yeah. So with that, let's get right to our interview. Again, I had a chance to catch up with the Granite Bay girls golf team. Only one loss in the season. That was to Oak Ridge, but they beat Oak Ridge twice. I think they feel like they can get them at the Masters, so they both advanced that far. But an interesting team, some interesting routines, and some young talent. Here are the Granite Bay Grizzlies. When it comes to winning championships at Granite Bay High School, the expectations are high for all athletic programs thanks to numerous section titles and a few state titles over the years. However, the girls' golf program is still in search of its first Masters championship, and this year's squad believes they have the team to win, but they're taking it one match at a time.
Obviously, like, going as far into postseason is our ultimate goal, but we do try to stay focused on like what's coming up this week and just play as good as we possibly can.
As for the key to this year's success, it's not only depth and talent, but there's another important factor with this year's team, says the senior and four-year varsity player, Chise Arai.
This year, I think like we have really good team chemistry. Like, we've known each other for a while now. Like, even before school golf, like, we play outside of school golf together in tournaments. So we already kind of knew from we knew each other from that.
Another key element to this year's team is having 4 impact freshmen, an infusion of talent that head coach Jason Siderud says is rare to see.
Very unique. And I think we're seeing this in all sports now across the area. These young kids play so much when they get to high school. They are very well prepared. They've got a lot of experience. And some of these girls are just the same thing. They play a ton of tournament golf and are very well prepared.
As for any pre-match routines or rituals the team has, well, they do have one.
We all have this chant. Well, like, before we tee off, we say Granite Bay gonna slay, always on the fairway. And we're gonna have team bonding soon. And we always we see each other at school, and then we talk there and stuff. And even outside of golf, we have a lot of team bonding. We usually have it once a week. So
Granite Bay's only loss of the season came against SFL rival and defending Masters champion Oak Ridge, but Granite Bay has 2 wins against the Trojans. There will be some tough competition at the Masters next month, but no matter what, it will be a friendly competition.
Oak Ridge, obviously in our league, we've had some great matches with them. Our girls know their girls. St. Francis is always kind of the traditional power in the area. But I think it's just unique that these girls all like each other. I mean, they're friends off the course a lot, so Oak Ridge, St. Francis, all the teams know each other very well, so it's fun.
All right, Mike, good stuff there. Kudos to the Grizzlies. They just get it done right. What a fun hobby. Hey, what do? I play high school golf. You imagine the coach, the coach gets a stipend for that, and he gets to play. So how about that?
Yeah, he loves being out there to play.
That's a rough gig.
Yeah, Jason Sitter, he used to play in high school, so they like to sneak out with their clubs. All right, Joe, we are back to talking football on this Friday. We've got some huge games.
And we start with a Thursday game.
Oh, you're right. Thursday game, Sierra Foothill League. We love Thursday games if we can get out to one. And Folsom going up against Rockland. That should be a good one. And what are your thoughts?
Quarterback play. It's been the tradition for these two teams over the last few years. William Floyd's doing a nice job for Rockland at quarterback. He filled in last year because of an injury. He's been really strong since. Evan Holtz, terrific running back. You've seen him. He's fast. He's shifty. And then Folsom has another quarterback, another Jake. Beware, there's another Jake. Not Jake Brown. He's now at Washington after setting all kinds of high school passing records. But Jake Jeffries played really well. And if it comes down to the trenches, there's a couple big dudes for Folsom. Cooper Richardson, son of the coach, Chris Richardson, and then Jonah Williams. He's the mauler with technique. He's going to Alabama. This is a great game.
Yeah, look for Rockland's defense to play well. Chase Satata has been looking good since he's come back from injury. That should be a good game. I expect a battle between those two teams. All right, Joe, moving on. We've got, a monster game here. Antelope going up against Del Campo. Antelope with Montel Aaron, they're playing well. Del Campo, just another power team that they've had over the years under Mike Domino.
Yeah, and a lot of credit to the old coach, and Steve Kenyon, who's now the offensive coordinator. He's worked closely with Ben Purcell, who's had a really good year at quarterback, very smart, cerebral, tough quarterbacks, had a couple big outings there. the winner here may win the Capital Valley Conference, so it's a big game. They're both going to be playoff teams. They should, unless there's a staggering collapse here. And then Antelope has had some really good teams. This may be their best team.
I agree. Well, let's bring you the last game, and this, again, another monster game. Placer going up against Bear River. You love this matchup because they have a history. They're both up in the hills. Obviously, Grass Valley a little further for Bear River, but there's just a natural rivalry there. I expect a great game. I really do.
I do too.
Yeah.
And we always talk about what makes high school football so fun. It's the staying power of some of these coaches. And you think of Placer, you think of Joey Montoya. He's so animated. He's into it. He went to school at Placer in Auburn, and he's coached there for years. He's won league championships. He wants to win a section championship. The big hurdle this year will be the defending Sac Joaquin Section Division 5 champions, Bear River. Co-coach greats in Terry Savoy. And Terry Logue and Scott Savoy. Thank you for correcting me there.
I think your phone just corrected you too.
It was probably my concussions over there, but hey, great coaches.
Yeah.
And Logue won his 200th last year. Savoy has been his right-hand man guy for the last few years. When you have great coaches in place, you're going to have good programs. Mm-hmm. And the winner here is probably going to win the Pioneer Valley League, but they'll both be playoff teams. Good football, and starting to get a little cool, so it's starting to feel really like football weather.
Yeah, these are the games you really look forward to
right.
as we approach playoffs, not too far away. All right, Joe, again, a packed show. We got it all covered. Football, got some girls tennis, some girls golf in there, and in the coming weeks, we'll have a lot of water polo coverage. We'll do some features, and then before you know it, it is going to be playoff time, starting with the Masters and on to volleyball and so forth. So, good show, my man. And remember, you can catch Joe Davidson on sacb.com. Daily, nonstop, all the time. Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
At @SacB_Jody.
Okay, well, you're pretty active on there. All right, folks, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.